As custodian of the wrecks, it's Philippe Rouger's job to track and monitor Bermuda's historic shipwrecks. And there are plenty here to keep him occupied. In fact, these waters may have claimed up to 300 vessels. Why have so many ships come to grief in these crystal clear seas, so close to land? Today, Philippe's visiting several wrecks that could throw some light on this mystery. First, the Mary Celestia, an iron-hulled steamship carrying supplies in the American Civil War.
She left Bermuda, she came down South Shore and came to her demise right here, which is a very curious thing because we're literally only 800 meters from shore. And it happened on a flat, calm day. There's a lot of intrigue about it. Trying to figure out just how this came to be.
She lies just over 50 feet down. The ship's distinctive paddle wheel is still recognizable. Just around the coast, there's another wreck, the Constellation. And slightly further, yet another, the Montana. In fact, according to Philippe's records,
now,
there are wrecks
why
completely
would these boats sink in these locations? Could there be another reason other than this mysterious Bermuda Triangle that throws off people's navigation that has become this scary myth? Could it be the reef? Could it be sandbars?
Many people have theorized regarding the Bermuda Triangle. But I think what I'm going to show you in a minute is quite telling. And of course, space is wrapped up in this mystery. But it's the timelines we're interested in here. Pay particular attention to the date.
On this day in space. In 1950, the very first rocket to ever launch from Cape Canaveral blasted off into space. The Bumper 2 was an experimental two-stage rocket that could fly as high as 250 miles above the Earth. It was topped with a V-2 missile base with a WAC Corporal rocket. It launched under the direction of the General Electric Company. At the time, NASA was not yet established. The mission's purpose was to test new rocket technologies and collect data about Earth's upper atmosphere. And that's what happened on this day in space.
So on the 24th of July, 1950, the first ever rocket took off from the Cape.
And Cape Canaveral is on the east coast of Florida, right along the Atlantic Ocean there. And the first rocket launch was the V-2 rocket. If you're familiar with the V-2, this all goes into the fake space propaganda. The V-2 rocket was designed by the Nazis and actually designed by Werner von Braun, who later became the head of NASA and headed up all the fake space propaganda, working along with Disney and Man in Space, and through the 1950s created the illusion of the possibility of going into outer space, and they were shooting these rockets up in the air saying that they were going to outer space. But where were they actually going? Well, let's take a little closer look.
Quite a few people think that most of the rockets taken off from the Cape end up in the drink in the Bermuda Triangle area, and that the story regarding the Bermuda Triangle was sold to us to put fear in our hearts and keep people out of that area, enabling NASA and whoever else before them to fire their rockets into that area where no one would see them. Remember, the first rocket launch from the Cape was the 24th of July, 1950, okay? So I'm over at Wiki. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is an urban legend focused on a loosely defined region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, where a number of aircraft and ships are said to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The idea of the area as a unique prone to disappearance arose in the mid-20th century, but most reputable sources dismiss the idea that there is any mystery whatsoever. And I agree. I think the whole thing's a cover story for the American government and their rockets. And when we scroll down here to origins, it gets rather revealing. I don't know about yourself, but I was under the impression the myth, the legend of the Bermuda Triangle was hundreds of years old. But when we come down to origins, this gets, like I said, rather revealing. The earliest suggestions of unusual disappearances in the Bermuda area appeared in a September the 17th, 1950 article published in the Miami Herald. So just under 2 months after the first rocket took off from Cape Canaveral, the myth, the legend that is the Bermuda Triangle was being pushed in the mainstream media for the very first time. I find that incredibly telling. What that tells me, their rocket launches from the Cape ticked the right boxes to push this fraud that is going to take place. And as a result, the legend, the myth that is the Bermuda Triangle was born and pushed slowly but surely through the media, through our television screens, through the papers, and gained momentum, and as a result would keep people out of that area, enabling rascals to do rather naughty deeds. Some people are going to cry out, what about Flight 19? Well, we're going to address Flight 19, okay? Now, what we're told about Flight 19 is this training mission in 1945 conducted by the US military. These planes went missing over the Bermuda Triangle. That's what we've been told, and that's what's been sold to us in the media, again to push the Bermuda Triangle myth. But when we look at their last known location on the map, and you can see it there, located, and then we compare it to where the Bermuda Triangle is, we can see that Flight 19 wasn't even in the Bermuda Triangle when its last known location was tracked. Yes, their mission did involve cutting across part of the Bermuda Triangle, but their last known location, they were nowhere near the Bermuda Triangle. So that's just destroyed that myth.
Flight 19, which was a military operation, go figure, the government has something to do with this. They say, they wrote the leader had been heard saying, "We are entering whitewater, nothing seems right. We don't know where we are. The water is green, no white." He also wrote that officials at the Navy Board inquiry stated that the planes, quote, flew off to Mars, unquote. And this came out in 1950, just as Wernher von Braun and the beginning of the space propaganda. And this is before NASA even started up, but Wernher von Braun was involved, and because they were shooting off his V2 bomb, his V2 missile, and of course they flew off to Mars. And Elon is of course Elon Musk is trying to get to Mars and tell everybody we're going to Mars now, but he's saying we flew off to Mars, and Wernher von Braun, he kept talking about we're going to go to the moon and we're going to go to Mars. And then in Wernher von Braun's book, he has this science fiction book where Elon was the head of the officials of these Martians on Mars after they flew in and made contact with Mars. So isn't that interesting that they flew off to Mars with this propaganda in 1950, putting it all together?
Is that not a comic book? That's a comic book.
My fellow Nastanos, I am sorry to say I am leaving you to join the elite.
Operation Paperclip.
In the United States of America.
Operation Paperclip. My people in Germany, all they want is freedom and peace.
We want to welcome you to the US of A.
We must divert our
I'm
attention.
going to make so much fucking money. It's crazy. To brainwash a nation, we will need animation. I want to bring my technology of airplane models. I want to work with Walt. I want to see the best people. We need to get the indoctrination started. If people believe an airplane can go to the moon, we might be able to do it. To brainwash a nation, I will need help. We will need animation. Please bring in help. United States of America. And action. Oh, jeez, who hired these guys? Jesus Christ, these guys can't act. They fall for it. People will fall for it. People must know. And the heavens declare the glory of God in his firmament. Showeth his handiwork. The people must know.
Disney was best friends with Wernher von Braun, the guy who started NASA, the guy who designed the Saturn rocket that allegedly went to the moon. We never went to the moon. Oh, that's just one picture? No. Walt Disney and Wernher von Braun were literally best friends. They worked together all the time.
Looking at a map of the major shipping routes and zooming in the Florida Cape area, we can see there are large areas there, large enough to entertain these rockets landing in the drink without anyone actually seeing it.
This is the last thing, I guess, Kennedy Space Center, and they say, which directions do rockets launch from Cape Canaveral? Well, NASA takes advantage of Earth's natural rotation by launching toward the east from Cape Canaveral. Okay, we already saw the triangle, so they shoot it off over the Atlantic, and they say they shoot it off to the east to take advantage of the Earth's rotation, which is obviously laughable, because if that was the case, then anytime anybody flew in an airplane anywhere, they would take advantage of Earth's rotation because of the alleged Coriolis and the spin of the Earth, when that proves itself that the Earth does not curve, because you can fly an airplane any direction and land back on the ground on a flat and non-moving surface. Can you imagine if an airplane tried to land sideways over a moving surface, spinning 1,000 miles an hour under it? It's laughable. So I'll stop here, but I just want to show you that the Bermuda Triangle is propaganda. It's fake space propaganda. Isn't that amazing? And there you go. They shoot the rockets right out into the Bermuda Triangle. They land in the ocean, and they scare people from going out there because they want to keep it secretive. And that's all it is.
All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain.
Smile for me. The insanity, the longevity.
She fill my mind up with ideas. I'm the highest in the room. Hope I make it out of here. She saw my eyes, she know I'm gone. I see some things that you might fear. I'm doing a show, I be back soon. That ain't what she wanna hear. Now I got it in my room. Legs wrapped around my beard. Got the fastest car to school. Hope we make it out of here. When I'm with you, I feel alive. You say you love me, don't you lie? Don't cry my heart, don't wanna make it out of here. We ain't stressing about the loot. How about me to kiss the real? This not the molly, this the boom. Ain't no coming back from here. Live a life a lot familiar. It's so much game that I can't see it. Turn it up till they can't hear.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
그린 넘버1 록킹로라 마자파카
We ain't stressing about the loot. How about me to kiss the real? This not the molly, this the boom. Ain't no coming back from here. Live a life a lot familiar. It's so much game that I can't see it. Turn it up till they can't hear.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
So to finish up, I think the whole Bermuda Triangle myth legend was pushed by the American government to help them push their space narrative and of course sell the global lie. Done very clever, put fear into the public's minds, keep them out of a certain area, enabling the American government to control that said area a lot easier, enabling them to land their rockets in the drink and get away with their silly narrative. Very clever when you think about it.